Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Wisdom and Light here, and I am back with another celebrity psychic reading. I am back. Time to pull some messages. The zodiac sign messages are coming very soon. I'm probably going to start filming that tonight and tomorrow. This Mercury retrograde has been a doozy, but enough about all of that. We are here to talk about Justin Timberlake and just do a reading on his energy, and I just want to see how everything is going to unfold. We're going to be touching base on Britney Spears and also look into the energy of how Janet Jackson feels about this, because the reason why we're doing this reading, he literally apologized for what he did to Britney and what he did to Janet Jackson, and it's been years. If you are a 90s baby, an 80s baby, or if you're just in the culture, you already know that Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake had a very bad breakup. He had a whole song called Cry Me a River, and Britney Spears just had a documentary. A lot of attention is on Britney Spears because of the conservatorship. I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. I just know that she's being under control by the label, her father, and I haven't gotten around to doing a reading on it just yet. But we're probably going to touch into it and then do a separate reading for Britney. But I needed to pull on this because I remember when I saw that Super Bowl with Janet Jackson and how the industry tore Janet apart. And Justin didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. My mom and me were a huge Janet Jackson fan, so we were not fucking with him. You understand me? We were not fucking with him. And yes, he has good music. I will not take that away from Justin Timberlake, but listen, we don't play about Miss Janet if you're nasty, okay? We were not fucking with him. Okay? Look. We were not dealing with him in my household. So me and my mom, we looked at each other shook. We're like, he's apologizing all of a sudden. Now, it's because it was brought up in the documentary and just how the whole music video was shady. And I didn't get to see the documentary, but I just want to pull on what's going on. And when the reading is done, I am going to touch base on other topics. I just have not done readings on it because when I checked my pendulum, when I checked my charts, when I checked my cards, I was just not guided to talk about the T.I. and Tiny situation for obvious reasons. But I do want to just say my predictions on what I feel is going to happen based on what I saw in my tarot cards. It's a sensitive topic, and we're living in a day and age where people tend to twist and turn what you say. And I don't want to be a part of that, but I will say my predictions towards the end of the video if you guys are interested in knowing that part. But let's jump in. That was a long introduction. Thank you for listening, and let's go. Let's do this. And please give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know you guys like these readings. And let's dive in. Justin Timberlake. Show me the energy with Justin Timberlake. Okay, Justin Timberlake. The 8 of Wands shows up for Justin Timberlake. The 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, this is Justin Timberlake's energy and how he's viewing the situation. The 8 of Cups, okay, the 3 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, Ace of Swords. Back of the deck energy is the 5 of Wands. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, so what I'm seeing for Justin Timberlake, I definitely feel that when the documentary happened, he was already warned days prior that they were going to mention him in the documentary. One thing that I will say is a producer or somebody within the production of Britney Spears' documentary that came out, I think, on Hulu or Netflix. I'm not sure where it came out. He was already given the heads up, hey, we're going to be talking about the situation. This is Britney's story, and you are a part of her story. We're going to bring you up, and whatever light that's on you is the light that's deserved. So we're just saying the truth, and whatever you do with that truth is up to you. So it's like they weren't telling Justin as a heads up. They were telling him, hey, we're letting you know it's about to go down, and no, we're not going to sugarcoat or edit anything out. We're going to explain her story because nobody else can do it the way that we can. That's what I'm like picking up. So Justin Timberlake actually knew, I want to say maybe 2 months prior, before everything came out to where we are seeing it and we are knowing it. And I do feel that at first, the energy was, I don't want to get involved. If you want to bring it up, but I don't want to get involved. However, in the back of his mind, what I'm picking up on is he knew that it was going to come back to him. And that's just what I'm picking up on energetically. That has nothing to do with the cards that I'm seeing. He knew that it would resurface based on just what I'm feeling and just using intuition. So the Eight of Wands is here. He caught all of this information by surprise. He wasn't expecting it. So that I do sense, that I do feel 100%. Now, another thing that's coming through in the reading, the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So what I will say is this. Justin Timberlake, I do feel that he has grown into himself. He's more mature. He doesn't have any hate or ill will in his heart. As a matter of fact, he actually has a lot of regrets about how things have ended, and he wish he handled things better. One thing about Justin Timberlake that I'm seeing in this reading, when things hit the fan, he was never straightforward in addressing it. He always just kind of bobbed and weaved away from controversy, and he played, I don't know what you're talking about for years. But again, we're in the Me Too movement. We're in the social media age where you can't bob and weave from this. You can't escape this. You can't get away from this. Celebrities and people that have influence are being held accountable for their actions and what they say. When you have a platform, when you have power, you have to be responsible with that power. And what you guys are witnessing is a lot of celebrities being exposed for abusing that power. You feel me? I don't consider myself to be like the biggest like reader or anything like that, or like intuitive or astrologer or whatever, but I do have a responsibility to be mindful of what I say and care about everyone that is watching. I'm very mindful of everyone's emotions when they are watching my videos, because yeah, I crack jokes and we spill a little tea here and there, but I'm very mindful. And I always think long run, who will this affect? Who will this insult? And you're noticing that a lot of celebrities or people with influence, they don't really think that way. If anything, they let the prestige and people hyping them up, you're so amazing, I love you, they let that get to their heads to where they lose touch with being human and having respect and just saying sorry and holding yourself accountable if you make mistakes. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes as an influencer. I wouldn't even consider myself an influencer, but being that I do have a little bit of influence, I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes where I did too much, trying to help too many people, and I couldn't show up when they wanted me to show up. And of course, that's not going to make everybody happy, but I learned that I can't make everybody happy. But I'm always going to show up, apologize, make it right, because I don't have any ill intentions to keep anybody feeling sour. You feel me? There's a lot of people that moved like that, and then there's a lot of people that let fame and things get to their head. And Justin Timberlake was one of them in his youth. He's gotten older, so that's not the energy that he is in right now. But he's going through what I call social media trial, because he was never held accountable for those actions. I mean, don't get it twisted. People that were Janet Jackson and Britney Spears fans, we were screaming this, but his popularity and his stardom, it was much louder than what we were saying. And that just goes to show you that even back in the day, men had the upper hand. Hence why men were able to get away with stuff. But again, like I said, and like in my world's prediction, we are in the Me Too movement. It was active in 2018. They kind of messed it up, but now it's back in motion and it's going to be done correctly. This was one of my world predictions. I don't miss. This was one of my predictions. There's going to be a focus on the well-being of women, how we look at women, the beauty standards. Beauty standards are going to change, what we deem as beautiful. So, you see girls are getting surgery, and I'm not against anybody getting surgery, honey. Get snatched. I'm not against it. But you're even seeing women thinking, do I need to get it that big, or do I need to get it like that? Maybe I want to calm down, or maybe I don't want to do that and I want to just hit the gym. You're going to see everything is going to be changing to where it's more authentic, it's more real, it has more substance, and there's no illusions. You're even seeing more pages where all of the photoshopping, all of that is being called out, because people want the real thing. People want to see freckles, acne, cellulite, loose skin, marks, scars. We want to see that. We want to see all of that, because that is more realistic, and we can relate to that than seeing something that's constantly perfect. And there's been this pressure for women to be perfect, and that's not even the case. we shouldn't strive for perfection. We should strive to be healthy and be the best that we can be. Again, by all means, if you want to look a certain way, go on and do it. But make sure you're always doing those things for the right reasons. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I feel that there's a lot of people watching this and they needed to hear that message. Don't let social media pressure you to be anything that you're not. You love yourself and keep moving accordingly, because I guarantee you, everybody that's an Instagram model, all these girls that y'all look up to, all these guys that have the glitz, the glam, the money, they're not happy. So circling back to the point that I was making, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on the well-being of women. So this isn't over for Britney Spears. This is just the beginning. And I'm happy that attention is being brought to Britney Spears. But people have been screaming this about Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears. My first album was Britney Spears' album. My first album. I love her. One of my favorite songs from her is Lucky. I love Every Time. I love Give Me More. I love You Better Work. I love Womanizer. I love Circus. I love, oh my God, I love Sometimes. I love Slave for You. There's so many songs that I love from Britney Spears. And what I love about everything that's happening is there's going to be a great focus on her mental health, her well-being, and even Janet Jackson, because Janet Jackson took a lot of hits too. And every time I felt her energy, I just got this vibe that she knew that she was talented, but she never loved. It's like she didn't love herself the way she needed to in her youth, but she's loving herself as she gets older. And you see Janet and she just feels happier, but during her youth, during her time of evolving, there was moments where I feel, based on what I was like picking up on, she was really trying to love herself the way that she needed to. So not being defended by Justin Timberlake when he did that, and Britney Spears not being defended by him when she didn't even do anything wrong. It just goes to show you, for years, women have not been protected. From the beginning of time, we haven't been protected. And what I love is that even Justin Timberlake is stepping up and saying, you know what, I made a mistake. Now, I'm going to pull on the energy of Britney and Janet and see if they received this apology. I hope he actually reached out to them and apologized to them personally. If he got his teams to talk to their team, whatever they do, I'll pull and see if that were the case. But we're going to see a huge emphasis on women and our well-being. So that's why the 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles is here. We are going to see that shift, and I'm happy that we're seeing that shift, especially in the industry where it's dark, it's nasty, a lot of shit's been going on, shit that I'm not comfortable to even really talk about, but it's happening, and we're all adults here. At least I hope we're all adults here. My channel is 18 or over, but really, I feel that people that are older can really like get the message with me, but I'm not opposed to the youth coming in. But if you're 18 to 24, you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to experience, and shit's not going to start making sense until you're 26, 27. That's the God honest truth. And shit's going to really go wild when you turn 28, when you have your Saturn return. So I'm telling you, I know that people get their readings. Is he going to leave me? Is he cheating on me? But real shit, real substance, you're going to start asking deeper questions as you get a little bit older. But then you meet people that are young and they have old souls and they're ready right now. And I love seeing that too. So hi to all of my 18-year-olds and all my 19 and 20 somethings. I love it. Love the vibe. I love that you're here. Thank you for supporting. Now, what I will say is this: the internet is going to be divided, but not divided where it's 50-50. It actually feels like 70-30. So 70% is just like, really, Justin, you're saying something now? The reason why is because we got the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. So people are feeling that it's too little too late, and they're hoping that he's actually being genuine. So they feel that all of this is for damage control. Now, I want to pull, is Justin doing this for damage control? Is Justin doing this for damage control? 6 of Swords. Yes, he is. He's doing this for damage control. He cannot escape this. Again, we are in the Me Too movement. You can catch these hands too. Everybody can catch these hands. Everybody can catch these hands. I don't care what you accomplish. I don't care if you won the Peace Nobel Prize. If you do something that's just disrespectful, you can get it. You can get it. You can get it. We can get it. Everybody's going to be held accountable in 2021 if you're doing stuff that you know that you're not supposed to be doing. Okay? Like, that's what's happening. We're not making excuses for nobody. Everybody can catch it. And Justin Timberlake is catching it. So I'm happy that he said the apology. I actually feel that for years it's been bothering him because he does see those things and it does get to him. And he tries to ignore it. One thing about Justin, he has that Omarion sensei, I didn't see it, I don't know what's going on, it's none of my business. Justin Timberlake does that very well too. But when Omarion did it, he was being positive and focused on his kids. When Justin did it, it's because he did some shit and said some shit. And he's not, you know, owning up to it and standing in his shit. That's the difference here, okay? So we're going to see that the internet's going to be divided, not really divided, like 70-30. And I don't feel like Justin is going to touch on it. He's not going to feed into it. He said what he said. He put it out there. And whatever we do with the information is what we do. The Six of Swords, he's moving on. He's moving forward. Now, this is actually Janet Jackson, the High Priestess. She was approached first for the apology. Because with Britney Spears, when it comes to receiving messages, it goes through like a whole thing before she gets that message. It's just so sad what Britney goes through. She doesn't even get messages on time. It has to be read by other people before she gets it. It's really sad. So Janet was actually approached first with the apology. And I do feel that Janet Jackson forgive. She wasn't sure where this was coming from because she wasn't aware of the documentary. She wasn't sure where it was coming from. She didn't feel that it was genuine. She didn't know why it was happening. The King of Wands, she felt that, does he want something? Does he need something? But nevertheless, I don't feel that she's going to not accept the apology. She's accepting it, but she will never forget. And she is judging him for taking this long to say something because Janet waited. And had Janet received that apology back in the day, I don't feel that she would have been questionable. I think if anyone would have gotten an apology when it happened, you know, we wouldn't question your motives now. It's been like 10, 12, how many years since it's happened? Now you're apologizing to it. That's great that you did it, but Janet Jackson is a Taurus. And Taurus people, I mean, some of them are not the most forgiving and they don't forget shit. So Janet forgiving the situation is because she's older. If Justin would have came to her with this 6 years ago, I don't feel that Janet would even want to hear it. But Janet's in a very peaceful space. She's in a good place right now. So I feel that she's accepting of it, but no, she's not trusting of the situation. And she's just going to let bygones be bygones because she's in a better place in her life right now. And everything happens for a reason. So that's where Janet Jackson stands on the situation. But does she trust it? No. And as she should. But at least Justin did his part. Now let's pull on, we're going to pull on Britney Spears. Sorry about the airplane, guys. Okay. Okay, show me Britney Spears. There's like a lot of blockages with Britney Spears. And Spears also telling me Justin made the apology he wanted to make the apology behind closed doors. He didn't want to make a statement, but he couldn't get through to Britney. So he had to make the statement in hopes that Britney would see it because he had no access to Britney. He was blocked from receiving anything from Britney. Yeah, he was blocked. And I do feel like it was from Britney's orders. But that was from a long time ago. Okay. I just heard, I feel bad for her. Justin is actually sympathizing with Britney and he sympathizes with her and he feels bad for her. It saddens him to see her the way that she is at this moment being so controlled. And y'all got to understand, Britney Spears is a Sagittarius. Where are all my Sagittarius? How many of you could handle being controlled like that? And you are a Sagittarius. I need y'all to express yourselves. Could you put yourself in her shoes? Britney is a Sagittarius and she's being controlled. And the biggest thing that we know about Sagittarians is they love their what? They love their freedom. And that's not what Britney has. Could you imagine a Sagittarius being caged up? Britney. How did Britney receive this apology? The Six of Pentacles. She feels that this was owed to her. Like, you owed me this. The Page of Wands. She saw it on social media like everybody else did. Like I said, Justin was able to give the message to Janet through the team, but he tried to do it with Britney, but Britney couldn't get it. So that's why Justin made the public announcement. And also for damage control, because he feels that he's outgrown that part of him and he understands the errors of his ways. Okay. We have the 8 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the High Priestess, the same cards that are coming out. They feel the same way. Janet and Britney feel the same way. The 8 of Pentacles, the Hangman. She doesn't know how to feel about this apology. Britney doesn't know how to feel about this apology. The 10 of Cups. She will forgive him. She's in a space to just let bygones be bygones because it's been so long. She's in the space of letting bygones be bygones because it's literally been so long and it just doesn't make sense to rehash stuff in her eyes. But I do feel that she's accepting of this. She is. She is accepting of it. I do feel that. What's going on with Britney? Spirit, what's happening with Britney? Britney currently is preparing to fight back. I know just recently they had court and I think the father still has control. Britney, and it could actually take almost a year to reopen the case or to revisit it. Britney is changing lawyers. She has male lawyers, but here's the thing, Britney, men haven't really protected you. Men haven't really done what they were supposed to do by you, and you're hiring men. No offense to men, but you're hiring men, and they all operate on the same energy. They all operate on the same vibration. What Britney actually needs is a female lawyer. I'll even let Lisa Bloom handle that shit if she wants to, because you know she loves chasing drama. So she would be a good option. But really, a powerful female lawyer is what she needs. I don't know. It just feels that when Britney hires these lawyers, it's like they're all in. It's like the energy I'm feeling based on what I'm seeing, because we have like the King of Swords and the King of Cups. It's like they're all in cahoots, like the Five of Swords. It's like the prosecutors are fighting hard, but her defense are not fighting as much. Okay? So I actually feel that Britney needs to change her lawyer up. She needs to actually switch to an all-female. She doesn't trust women. Britney doesn't trust women. Britney doesn't trust women. She's always been one of the guys, even though she's very sexy. She's always been one of the guys. She doesn't trust women, but men haven't done much for you either. Men have you in all of this type of control. She needs to, and she doesn't, she's hurt by her sister. I remember that Britney had a younger sister, and she had that show Zoe 101. I think I watched like 2 episodes and I didn't care. She has a pain towards her sister. She thought her sister would show up for her, but her sister didn't. She thought her sister would save her and stand up for her, but she benefited from keeping her in that conservative, whatever it is. She benefited from it. Britney is hurt by that. Just heard that. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's another reason why she doesn't trust women. Something with her mom as well. She didn't feel protected by women. But she actually needs female lawyers. Like, there's a female lawyer that she really should have considered, and she's going to reappear again like, listen, I can help you win this case. Will Britney say yes to this? And she's not playing. Britney is not sure. She's not sure. She's actually scared to fight back. But I do feel that she will. She's scared to fight back. She's scared to fight back. Okay. But I do feel that she will. I do feel that slowly but surely Britney Spears' story is going to gain more momentum. Right now they're trying to not give it that much attention, but it's going to get bigger and bigger because, again, this year is going to be focused on women. So we're going to see this pop up again until it's going to be back to back, back to back, back to back about Britney. Just like how we were seeing like everything with R. Kelly back to back, back to back. It's going to be the same thing with Britney. We're going to see the whole thing. It is going to be televised. We are going to see everything unfold and unravel because Britney, I keep seeing Britney's either going to post something. She's going to do something that she's not supposed to do. She's going to post it and delete it, but people are going to screen record it and the internet's going to break because she's going to speak her piece on what's been happening with her. And she's not going to She's going to sound like who you remembered, but you're going to hear the fear in her voice. She's going to post it, but then get scared and delete it, but people are going to screen record it right then and there. And it's just going to be this wave. That's what I'm picking up on. That's what I'm seeing. It's going to happen. It's coming. It's coming. The Hermit. When she does it, she's going to go in hiding. When she disobeys, they put her in a dark room. When it's very, it's like they treat her like she's 5 years old and she's not a grown woman. It's really disturbing. They just they put her in a room like timeout. Like you're on timeout. So it's like when she does that, she's going to be on this quote unquote timeout. Her account can even get deactivated mysteriously, but I feel that she's going to be pulling away, and a lot of her fandom's going to be fighting back. Here's the thing, she doesn't have a lot of celebrity friends in the industry, but it's not her peers that are going to speak up for her. Like, no, you're not going to hear Pink or Christina Aguilera or Beyonce, and then you're not going to hear them speak about it. You're going to actually hear the youth talk about it, like people that came up with Zendaya, people that came up with Normani, people that came up with them. You're going to hear the youth talk about it much more than the adults, because the adults are like, well, we got our own shit going on and we're going to stay over there and you stay over here. So I actually feel that the youth, like all the 19 and 20s and 21-year-olds, all of you matter too. You're young, you're impressionable, you're amazing, you're bright, you have a lot going for yourself, but your voice matters. You're the future. So yeah. This is some crazy shit. I'm just happy that we're going to see a lot more protection for Britney coming up. I know I only brought up Janet Jackson briefly, but Janet Jackson really feels at peace. She feels at peace with everything that has happened with her. She feels at peace with all of the circumstances. She's okay. If anything, I just feel that she's just enjoying the fruits of her labor. So I don't really have much to say on Janet other than she's a legend. I love her. And I'm happy that she has found peace. Because not a lot of people in this industry, I ain't in that shit, but in that industry, they don't really find peace. Her brother is an example of that. Okay? Try to pull on Michael. He does not want any parts with Earth. He doesn't want to connect. He's at peace where he's at too. Every time I pull, he's just not with it. So that's really why I haven't done a Michael Jackson video. I haven't done mediumship readings in a minute though, to be honest, to be fair. But he always gave me a polite no because of everything that he endured. And to be quite honest, I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at all. So circling back to Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, I mean, your apology, I mean, okay, damage control and you outgrown that and you're an adult now. That's all well and good. I feel like they're just going to, okay, yeah, thanks for your apology, but okay, whatever. It's the internet that's going to take it more seriously. And like I said, 70-30, people are just not going to be for it. And then there's going to be people that are be like, well, he apologized. He said sorry. You're going to deal with people like that. And that's all cool. Whatever. I'm just happy that Janet is being acknowledged for this and receiving her flowers because how Hollywood dragged her. Meanwhile, Madonna and Britney and Christine, they like tongue kiss on stage, right? They did all of that on stage. And nothing wrong with girls kissing, but at that time, everything was so, oh my God, and they amplified everything. You see two girls kissing now, it's not even really a big deal. It's not because we're more open with same-sex relationships and same-sex marriages, and still a lot of work to be done, to legalize it, and, it's not fair. But it was so taboo back in the day. Just like even the whole threesome conversation, that was so taboo. Now you're seeing that we're all open and we're all talking about it. We're more open about it. Okay? What happened with Janet, that whole thing, back then it was so outrageous. But if that shit happened now, she wouldn't have, actually, yes and no. I'm going to say she probably still would have got dragged, but it wouldn't have been to the extent that it happened because, again, social media, we're much louder than what the media wants to spin. We're much louder than that. But that did hit her very hard. That shit hit her. And after that happened, The album didn't hit like it used to. She went through it. She did. But everything happens for a reason. And to be honest with you, I wish that never happened to her. But if Janet never experienced that and she kept going the way that she was and reached and, you know, get bigger and bigger and bigger, and she was already a big deal, if she kept going in that momentum, I don't feel that she would have been at peace with herself. And I actually feel that she wouldn't have found this self-love that she is experiencing right now. Everything happens for a reason, even though it was fucked up. So that's what I'm seeing. We're going to be seeing that with Britney. Justin, thanks for your very late apology. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying thank you. I mean, he's not apologizing to me. They both seem to have moved on from it and they've accepted it, but they don't fuck with him, and I don't really blame them. All right, so let's talk about the T.I. and Tiny situation. Thank you guys for watching this entire video. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for getting this far. Now, let's talk about that. When I pulled on it, I was guided not to make a video on it for a lot of reasons. One being because it's a sensitive topic. Everyone was asking me, does T.I. hurt his kids, especially his daughter that he embarrassed last year? The answer to that question is no. Spiritually, when I checked my cards, I got a no. I honestly got a no. I don't feel that he hurts them purposely. I feel that if anything, he's just controlling. He actually loves his kids, but he's so overprotective because he knows what goes down in the industry. Anybody knows that, and he probably, and it's being exposed that he's one of those guys that partakes in those activities, and he protects his daughter from that because he is that. Or he feels that he's that, or he knows that he's done those things before and he knows how men move in the industry. So no, I don't feel that he would do anything to hurt his kids. I just feel that he's controlling. And we all got a whiff of that, and it creeps people out because like, why are you even being controlling about that? But it's because of all of this that's happening. So that's the answer to that question. They're saying, was Tiny a willing participant in these alleged allegations? Based on my cards, I saw that Tiny is submissive and she does what she is told. She honors her husband and she honors the wishes of her husband. There is nothing wrong with being submissive in a marriage and you let your husband lead. I am not the one to be like, oh, you shouldn't do that, because it works for different households. It may not work for you, but it works for other people. If Tiny wants to be submissive to her husband and honor her husband and his wishes, however crazy it may sound, that is her choice to do so within her marriage. All right. So she did what she did to make her husband happy. Now, if this was never brought up, if bringing people into your bedroom was never brought up, would she have been the one to bring that towards her? No. I feel that this is all to please her husband and to keep him around, to keep him faithful and whatever. So that's how I saw it when I saw the cards for that. Who is lying and who's telling the truth? Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. There are sex workers and women that are speaking their truth. I'm not taking that away from them. They're speaking their truth. And at the time, a lot of them were... I didn't pick up on anybody underage. I just felt that what I saw in my cards, because I got the 3 of Cups when I did it, T.I. and Tiny made sure about that shit. They weren't playing about that. But some of them were 19, 21, 22. That's still very young. That's still very impressionable. When you see a celebrity and you're like, oh my God, he thinks I'm special. He thinks I'm sexy, or she thinks I'm sexy. But a lot of these women that are speaking out, they're older now. They're like 28, 29, 30. They're much older now. And now they're realizing, you know what, it left me feeling like this, it left me feeling like that, and I don't feel right about it. You have the women that are sharing their stories, and more stories are going to be heard. And then you have the women that are lying, because I did pick up on lying, which is what T.I. and Tiny are going to fight. So I would say it's 50-50. You have some that are like lying and they were just sending that lady stories and they weren't true. And then you have ones where it was true. And a lot of people were saying, I believe this. And then there's people that said, I don't believe that. It's very like off and on with who's telling the truth and who isn't. But the ones that are telling the truth, they're standing out. So it's going to be like another Tory Lane situation where everybody's pointing the fingers, everybody's lying up, and everybody's blah, 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 blah. It's going to be like that, which is why it's just going to be one of those things where it's a downward spiral. Like it's going to spiral and spiral and spiral and spiral. It's going to be off and on for the next 2 years. I also picked up that T.I. wanted it to be a quiet case, but it's not. We're all going to be paying attention to it. He can't hide this one. He's going to try to have it under the table and handle it behind the scenes, but it's not. I was asked, will VH1 pull the plug? My cards got the Three of Swords, so I'm going to say yes. VH1 is just not with that. So I do feel like the suspension is eventually going to be a cancellation. So that's a prediction that I did see. Why did Sabrina, I think her name is Sabrina, the one that kind of went out and said it, why did Sabrina say all of this? Sabrina said all of this. From what I picked up, I do want to just pull a card for Sabrina. I think that's her name. Sabrina got kicked out of the inner circle, the Wheel of Fortune circle. A big change happened. She didn't like that. The Five of Pentacles, money, abundance stopping. So she did what she did out of spite. And also, there's somebody else. Like, what I did pick up is, I'm not saying that T.I. and Tiny are innocent, because again, we can just let the government and the courts handle that. And all of this is alleged, but it did feel that Sabrina, like the lady who said it, it was very premeditated. Like she was sitting on this bomb and she was waiting when she was going to drop it. And she's not the only one that helped her with that bomb. I do feel that T.I. pissed off a lot of people by not minding his business. And the vibe that I got in T.I.'s reading when I was pulling on it, it was more so like, hey, we see that your hand is in the cookie jar. And you know something, we're not going to expose that your hand is always in the cookie jar. But if you keep talking about shit that's none of your business, we'll make sure that everybody sees that your hand has been in the cookie jar. And you have to answer to that. And that is basically what's happening. So T.I.'s got to fight. He's got to fight this one, but it's not looking good. And I do a lot of readings for people in Georgia. Like what goes down over there, it's very like popular over there, like welcoming people in your bedroom and everything. I'm not against it. I don't care what people do with their bodies. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel fulfilled in your relationship. The only problem with it is a lot of this stuff tends to happen where now people are pregnant or people feel away. All types of stuff happens. All those type of energies in your space. So that's a vibe. One last thing, people kept asking me, was Phaedra telling the truth? And I was actually, when the situation came out, I instantly thought of Phaedra Parks. Now, if you guys don't know who Phaedra is, she was on Housewives of Atlanta, and she got kicked off of the show, I believe, because the whole sex dungeon thing with Candy and them, people are now looking at Candy and Todd. Well, do they do stuff? I didn't feel Candy and Todd. I'm not trying to bring them in all of this shit. If something comes out with them, then I guess, but I didn't feel their energy. But I do feel that with Phaedra, when she said it, it's like she repeated it because there was truth to it. And it makes me wonder, y'all get where I'm going with this? She wasn't really technically lying, but maybe the people that she thought it wasn't who she thought it was, right? Speaking too soon on something without having all of the facts. And I do feel that whoever she got that information from, they are normally always right or on the money. But you know, it's like Game of Thrones. People can twist things and be like, oh, well, no, you did it. And this is another reason why I do feel that the show has approached Phaedra to come back on the show. But because of how they did Phaedra and they made her carry that when she only repeated what she heard, I don't feel that she's going to be making a comeback because of how ugly that looked. Now, I don't feel that she should have repeated it. But what was the rumor? A lot of people in Atlanta were talking about that, not just Phaedra. What I'm seeing, Atlanta's gonna keep getting more exposure. You know, it's just gonna be a downward spiral, though. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Thank you guys so much for listening to that. Okay, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this whole reading, and leave a comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.